Good morning, class. In today's session, we will see the remaining topics of the array representation. So in yesterday's class, we have seen what is the need of array, why we are using the arrays, and we have seen one example representation for usage of the arrays made ease of accessing the data and also the processing the data there. And coming to the next topic, memory allocations of the array. How it is going to be stored in the main memory or for the accessing of that one. So these elements what we are chosen for storing into the array should be in a contiguous, means continuous locations has to be there. And the representation here is what is the data type it has been used for that one, that much of the space will be allocated to that each and every element here. And we are storing this one into the main memory presentation. First, we need to know about the base address of the array here, means from where it has been started the that is adding the elements. So the first element what you have been added, the address of that first element will be specified or will be used as a base address here. And after the adding of the first one, we need to add the elements to the next representation, next one. So next will be the continuous one. For example, if you're taking integers means it is taking 4 bytes there. So next space will be after the 4 bytes, it will be allocating the space for the next element. For the next element, again 4 bytes, again like that it is processing the address of that one and adds the elements to that representation. And coming to the array, how we are going to store. As I said, we start with the indexing of that one with the 0. Means when we are considering array, the subscript will start with the 0 and the last element or the last address what we are using will be stored at the specified size -1. And the storing of the elements means indexing of the elements what we are doing, where we need to store the element, first element will be a automatic way, or you need to specify manually, you need to specify where to be stored. You can specify the address or the subscript of that one and start the storing of the elements. Likewise, we are having 3 such ways to store the element. To represent it from the starting, it allows to use this first element addressing or the first element storing at the 0th index. So at the first one only. So that type of means a storage or that type of the processing will be called as a or will be defined as a 0-based indexing. Means it has been started with its basic subscript, means the default subscript what we are using for first element here. So to avoid the confusion of the means if you don't need to access the 0th element, you need to start from the first element only. First space only, means the location what we are using here at the first position. Avoid the 0th location. What happens here is it will allow you to access the first position and store the element, the first element at that place. Then the size of that one will be defined as a 1 to n. Here the size of array will be, here the size of array will be 0 to n minus 1. And here the size of the array will be 1 to n. And this is n-based indexing, means you can choose any one other than 0 and 1. If it is chosen 0, then it becomes 0-based indexing. Then what you have to do, you need to go for the another space. The remaining space where you are using 1 to n minus 1 or the 1 to up to last. What happens here is it is being considered as a 1-based indexing. And the other one is the n-based indexing, means other than 0 and 1, we can use 2 as a value, means a position to be started with the processing, or we may use 3, 4, and so on, up to the how many elements you want to use. So n cannot be taken here. So here, how many elements you are taking for the processing should be known. This n-based indexing will allow you to process, okay, but the thing is, we can't make that usage of that one should be done by the half of the array, or you can insert the elements at any space here. So if we are using in such a way, what happens here is, for example, we need to avoid, just plot the elements 0, 1, and then next 2, 3. Just consider the elements are having the space up to 10. Okay. Now see, this has been took by the 0 index or the 1-based index. We can't start this one. So how many elements we want to insert? That is the first one. So if you want to insert the 5 elements, so what is the point you need to consider here is up to this one. Up to this one, and the size of that one is a fixed one, static, consider it as a static. So you should take up to 6 only, because the elements to be inserted are 5. If we are going before that one, or the means after the value, after the subscript of that one, what happens here is, if you chosen the 7 as a subscript to reside or to store the values here, it will store first value, second value, third and fourth value, and the fifth value won't be inserted into the array because there is no empty space for the representation. Why? So you are having empty space in an array because it is leaving the behind elements of the, there is a head elements of that one, this one. So here what happens, although you are having the empty space, what you are not allowing to take the space to be used here, because it is to be considered, or it is to be stored in a continuous format. If not, you want to store the element here, you can write that is a code as a store the elements at empty space here. What happens here is the residing of the elements what you have chosen won't be start with the 6. So you may start with the 5 or 4 or 3 or 2. If you store the value at the 2, the 3, 4, 5 will be remain as a empty spaces. 3, 4, 5, 6 as remain as empty spaces, and the other one will be filled here. So while choosing this one, maybe it is considered as an n-based index, means you may have the probability of choosing the elements to be stored at the that is a specified position, not to use the more than space which is been wasted here. So here if you are using this from this one, half of the space has been wasted here, and it is been not considered for the usage. For the next one, at this present of, that is at this instant of the time, this space what we are considering from the 0 to 5 has been considered as a wastage of that representation, and you'd been allocated. As this concept has been allowed, but the random index number here is what you are doing. So for example, if you want to take only the 2 or 3, means so if you are leaving some two spaces or the 3 spaces, that will be allowed for this processing. Random index number means we are not using the random index number frequently. It will be used rarely. Whether you will start with the 0 or the 1, that is up to. Mostly we will use the 0-based indexing for the processing. So that's the indexing what we are having. And coming to the that is how we are going to store the element series. As I said, we are taking the integer here. So consider the starting address of that one here, the base address, and we are starting with the 0-based indexing approach, and the base address of the array has been taken as the 100th byte. So we started the first element of that one at the 100th byte here, and the elements to be inserted will be 5. And where we have to start that one is, we specified it as a 0-based. 0-based means we need to start with a 0 subscript, and we need to allocate the memory spaces to the each and every element based on the type of the data type of the element here. Since we are using the integer here, then the 4 bytes will be taken into an account. Then it will insert each and every element after the 4 bytes here. So we are having 5 elements. 5 elements has been taken, and the array size will be 0 to n minus 1. N is equals to 5 here. Then 4 will be considered. So here, this is the base address we have been using. After the each and every one, means each and every insertion, we need to consider where it is been residing or where it is been storing. So the memory space allocated by each and every numerical, that is an integer, is 4 bytes. So the address what we are specifying is 100, and after the insertion of the first element, we need to go for the second element. So add each and every for each and every address space, add 4 bytes to that one. And these, until we reach the n minus 1, what happens here is we need to consider the insertion of the elements. If you go for the other is one based indexing, what has to, we need to take the n as a consideration. Array of 1 to array of 5, we will add that one. How I am going to accessing the elements? So here, accessing the elements means I stored the elements into that one, into this array. I want to get the data which has been stored in that array, and I want to process that one. What are the ways we need to access here is, we need to take this a complete array structure using the for loop, or you may specify a direct address representation, or you may specify subscript based representation. Okay. And coming to the accessing of that one, we should need this information. So here we are writing the program for the processing, and we are specifying that the element which is stored at that position has to be accessed. For that one, we should need a base address where it is been started. It's first element insertion, and the size of element, each and every element, means the first element is been required. So the first element what you are inserted, where you have been inserted, what is the size of that element, what is the type of the indexing which has been following, means whether it is 0, 1 or n based indexing has been followed or not. So the size of an element means what is the data type you are using, which will indicate the size of that processing. Based on that, we have the formula that is for the one-dimensional array, not the two-dimensional array. Here, the byte address of that one, a of I means 0 to n minus 1 or 1 to n. Whatever it is, we need to specify that thing. So here, we are using base address plus size into 1 minus I minus first index as a formula here. This is a formula for calculating the address space, means where it has been stored here. And here, if you see, we took an example which stores numericals, but which are the signed and unsigned both array. So considered as a signed integers. And we specified the number of size, the number of elements what we are using as minus 10 to plus 2. Okay. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0, 1. And where it has been started, base address is 999. Okay. Now see, what is the base address of next one? Add 2 bytes to that one. Means again 2 bytes. Means this is a manually we are calculating that one. 4, and here again 2 bytes, 6, sorry. This is 3. This is 5. and this is 7. Now 1009. Next 1011. Next one 1013. 1015. 1017. Next one here is 1018. Sorry, 9 plus 2 na. Next 1021. And the last one here is 1023. So these are the values we are having. So this is a key, you may say element, and this is the address we have been used. Now see the location of the A minus 1. Of A minus 1 means in the array A, we have to calculate the location of A minus array consideration. So here, what is the formula? What is the base address? The base address here is 999. Okay, this is the base address. So this is the array which has been using the elements from the -10 to +2, and the base address has been considered as a 999, where the size of element is a 2 bytes. Find the location in the array which is element -1. Okay, now see the location of A of -1 is equals to base address. Base address here is this one, 999 plus size into, size means here I wrote the size 2 into I minus first index. I value here is, what is the value you have been, means I value here, what you are taking, the element to be searched here. The element to be searched has to be presented here, -1, and what is the first index it is been taken? The first index value here is, means this one, this that is this total indication I minus first index is the element to be searched, means the the address to be searched of that element, and then first element what you have been used for that processing, first index address element. So here -1 is the to be searched element and -10. So -1 and then next minus of minus plus, which is a -1 plus 10 into 2, 9 into 2, which is 18. After how many spaces we are getting that one, we need to consider here. So 999 plus 18, then you will have the address of that one, 109717 here. So if you see, including this element of after the means after the 9 spaces, we are being allowed to access the -1. So here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. After the 9 spaces, which is at the 10th space. So the 10th space, we are having the element. So 9 spaces means 9 into 18, 18 bytes. After the 18 bytes, you will have the elements to access the address here. So -1 is been resided at the 1017. Okay, so that is a actual calculation of the byte address which is been using for the this set of arrays. So here, what is to know? Base address has to be known, number that is the bytes which is been using for the processing, and also we should know the list of the elements here. For what you have been searching, the first element to be inserted at the means which has been inserted at the first index has to be specified. Okay, after that what you have been allowed to access the, or if you have been known to access the elements here. By that what you are doing, it is allowed to take this address space to be resided here. So that is a first, and then next base address indication. And coming to the next one, which is a two-dimensional array. So we can represent an array as a multi-dimensional, means no more than the one dimension here. If you want to access the elements, a group of elements or a set of the elements, then you need to use the one-dimensional array. All the time we can't specify that one-dimensional array will, means the set of the elements is being considered in the data structure. So the set of the elements what we are using will be a set of numericals or the set of alphabets or the set of any other data. We can't specify that linearly we can access each and every application data here. Sometimes we need to access the data in multi-dimensional way. Okay, if you consider the matrix representation. So here the matrix representation is the best example for the two-dimensional array. Why so here is, when you access the data from the matrix representation, we present the data as a collection of rows and columns. Their intersection point will specify a particular point here. And in this representation, using the linear arrays, means the one-dimensional arrays for this type of the processing won't be encourageable. Means if you want to use this only one-dimensional array for the processing, means what happens here? There lies several problems for accessing the elements and for processing the elements. So for that one, there would be a chance to define an array by using an array here. So the two-dimensional array allows you to represent in that way. And it is being used, popularly it is being used for the matrices here. The matrix multiplication or the matrix operations what we are used, or the any application which is using two-dimensional representation. What happens here is, it allows you to use the array concept for that processing. So here what we are doing, we are assigning a space by using one-dimensional one by representing it as a this one. So here, if you want to represent it as a two-dimensional, we need to present how many rows and how many columns has to be used. So this is a representation of two-dimensional array, which is using first I as a rows and the next j as a columns. And it allows you to store huge amount of the data here. So what is the size of this array will be, means it can be I can be, or I comma j will belongs to the set 1 comma n. You may specify n as an infinity also, that is up to a processing. How many elements can be taken, means it belongs to the set 1 comma n. You may specify 1 comma n, means one row, n columns, n rows, 1 column, or the n by n matrix, or any. So you can take the any size of that array for the processing or to store the data. And also it allows to access the data very easily. Means if you want to access the data in the previous example, what here done, we have been specified that we should take the complete array representation, or you may specify what is the particular object you are going to access, or from where you want to access the data, you will specify. So there also we need to get the data from, means simply specify the row and column intersection point, just get the data there itself. How we are going to write the data means allow this one to be accessed here is by using the integer, give the array name. We can specify the maximum rows there, maximum columns is being used, and with the semicolon. If you are giving that n by n matrix here, n by n matrix is there and it has been started with the 0. That is a default one. So 0 means the number of columns or the number of rows will be n minus 1. And what is the elements which has been storing here is the 0th element will be stored at the A of 0. But here we are taking the rows and columns here. So the element which is at the 0th row and the next 0th column will be specified here. The element at the second row means here the second row means not this one, 2, this one. The second row and the second column will be specified here. And then next third means 3 and 2. N minus 1 means up to this one. If you want to access this one, what has to do is nothing but A of 3, 2 has to be specified. So if you are using, if you have been mentioned 0 to n minus 1, what happens here is we need to less one number while accessing them. You need to access the real second row of that element here, means just specify A of 1. And then next n will be specified, or you need to means give the actual column number. You can give the column number for accessing. How we are going to map the elements here? Means specified one is a way for the means it has been included. These are the values will be for representing that one. How I am going to access these elements, or how I am going to process these elements here is, first we need to map this one with this user, means how we are going to use that one. So first here is we need to indicate this one as a similar to the one-dimensional array. And what it is doing is it is been taking that each and every element what we are doing. As I said, I want to access the fourth element, sorry, 4 elements which are at the 4th row, means this row. What happens here is I need to map the elements with the, means I need to map each and every row, sorry, each and every column with this row. Or I need to access only the specified one, means this one. Just map with the two and two. Okay. So we need to take this one-dimensional consideration. First, we need to read the row, and from that we need to map to the its representative, means respective column value here. So each and every column is specified, means you need to that is map with each and every column what we are having. Okay. And likewise, using the one-dimensional processing, what you are doing is you are allowing the elements to be done in that processing. So here we took the elements. Here is the 3 by 3 matrix here. Means we are having 3 rows and 3 columns. How we are going to store the elements here? The storage of elements is in the 0th row. We need to take this 0th column, first column and second column elements, and also the first row, same 0th column, first column and then second column, and then second column. So it's the 3rd row. What we are having is 0th and first and second. What is the index of that one is 0, 1, 2, and the next 0, 1, 2 has been specified. If I want to access the this element, middle of this element or the diagonal elements, what I have to do, I need to give the 0, 0, 1, 1 and 2, 2. Or you may simply write that whenever we are having the I equals to Z, access the elements and print the elements what we have been read there. Okay. And if you want to know, I want to get only the that is elements of the second, means this one, last column. So the last column means what it has to do, you need to read the elements of the last column, but it has to be considered the rows 0, 1 and 2 here. Okay. And the accessing of these elements and the processing of these elements means what we are saying, means storing or we are the processing of the elements will be done in the 2 ways here. What is the first way is the row measure ordering, and the next one is the column measure ordering. So here we see all the rows of this one will be filled first in the continuous manner, means in the array format, means if you are taking the one-dimensional array format here, the rows what we are using will be filled first. Means for example, see here, actually filling of the data will done. How we are going to process that one? Here 0, 1 and 2 has been considered. Then you need to go for the second element here. In the contiguous, how we are mapping to the one-dimensional array is by the contiguous manner, which is being considered as a row. First rows will be stored here. And we are not accessing the columns now, not like that. First row based one here is row measure ordering, means it should be read the first row here and which is having the elements of the columns here. If you see this example, the previous example, what you have been having here, we are taking the elements 0, 0, 1, 0, 2, that's all. And after that, next row is first row. First row has to be stored. And then next row is the second row. As I said, we can take it from the 0, 0 or the 0, 2 or 1 here. So how we are going to access the elements here? We can access the elements from zigzag, this one. So if you see this example, first I need to read the elements. First I need to read the elements of this one. I need to store the elements of this one. And I need to go for the next row starting point. And I need to start reading of that elements from here. If it is the end point, stop there. And just go for the next row starting point and start the reading of that elements here. If it is the end point, what you have to do, you need to go for the next address, that is the next one. And you need to start the elements to be there. And we need to store in such a way. So these are being stored. First row will be stored first, and then second row, third row, and so on up to n row. It will be storing in such a way. Whereas the column based means here we are taking rows in the row measure ordering. Here we are taking the columns here. Columns will be stored first. Columns here is first, in that first you need to see the left side element 0, 0 and then 0, 1, 1, 1 here, and then 2 and then 2 and then 2. Means you should see the elements which has been placed is in the row measure order or not by seeing the pair. In that pair we need to see the left value here. Okay. If you are considering the column measure ordering, the column measure ordering will have the right side representation of that one. So Z or the column will be at the right side of that set or the pair. Sorry, not the set, pair. So in this pair, we need to see this one is being occupied by the first column or not. As it is the first column, next second column, and then next third column there. Okay. And coming to the following of that one. So we will read from top to down. So here what we are doing from in the horizontal way, we are going and we are coming back forth here. Back forth we are coming to that one and we are starting the reading of that elements from the next row. Here what it is doing is from the top to down it is reaching, and again what it is doing is it is getting to the top of the next processing one. And it reads the elements of that column and process here. It should store the elements what we are having in column based only. First column has been filled, and then second column, third column, and so on, n column here. So these are the accessing or the processing of the elements what we are having here. Means you can store your elements. Means in the linear array there is no such problem here. How we are going to store the elements, how we are going to process elements, there is no such problem. Although we are representing this one as a matrix format, so what you have to do, we need to store the elements or map the elements into the one-dimensional array only. So to store or to process them into that one, we should follow any ordering. Any means here column or the row you need to consider. So based on that process. So here, if you are mentioning particularly you need to be store this processing, means it will allow you to store that one. Linear representation means there are no other dimension values here. Single dimension, it will be stored in the continuous format. Array is a continuous form, means continuously store the elements. So here how we are going to convert this linear structure means you should specify the order of processing. So that's about today's class. In tomorrow's class, we will see the array representation by using the abstract data structures. Thank you.